Here's something that sounds counterintuitive. It seems like having an extra bit of padding later in life, being a little bit overweight, could actually mean you live a longer life, and that perhaps it's time to reassess the guidelines for what's considered a healthy weight, especially in people over the age of 70. Our health specialist, Dr. Zentner, is with me now to flesh this out. So this is good news, right? We don't have to watch our weight so closely as we get older?
Well, I think, first of all, let's look at the study. So this was a meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and it looked at morbidity and mortality rates in the over 65 to even up to 80 population in patients based on their BMI. And it showed that in patients who were, for example, overweight, they had lower mortality rates. So BMIs of 25 to 30 had a lower mortality rate in the over 70 population versus those who had, quote, a normal weight, so BMIs of 20 to 24.9.
Do you think this means we put too much stock in the BMI, the body mass index?
You know, I think BMI has its problems, and we've long said this. And what's interesting about this study is it's not news, to be quite honest. It's something we've known for a while, that BMI has its flaws, absolutely. It forces us to do a few things. So either one, there could be an obesity paradox, so to speak, where fat could be protective up until a certain point in, let's say, a low-risk patient. What it also suggests us is we need to look at the whole person. So are these people, if these are, for example, overweight people with no diabetes and no high blood pressure and no sleep apnea and no heart disease, and they're fit and they're active, then that may be a much healthier patient than, let's say, sort of a thin diabetic per se.
Right. Well, you get people referred to your practice who are overweight and over 70, 75. What do you tell them about their body image and their weight?
I think it's important to look at the whole risk picture. So the other thing I think this study points out is that weight on the scale doesn't necessarily correlate to nutritional status. So we see obese, malnourished patients all the time. And what I try and do in that situation is look at the patient's whole risk picture, number one, independent of BMI, look at their physical fitness level, which is huge in the elderly population, and then look at their nutritional status.
So it's time perhaps to reframe how we look at aging and weight, and that maybe we need to look at nutrition and mobility as much as anything else, right?
I think in every population, especially in the elderly, it's more than the number on the scale.
All right. Dr. Zentner, thanks.
Thanks.